Hello, hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host Keegan. And this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And I've got some questions for you, real quick. What if your biggest roadblock isn't lack of skill, strategy, or hustle, but something hidden, quietly sabotaging you? Alain Salas says that there's 3 steps to break through those invisible walls, and we're here to ask him what they are. So, first of all, Alan, how are you doing today?
Bonjour, Keegan. I'm doing good.
Thank you for hitting me with that. Where are you located? You're in Canada, aren't you?
No, actually, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, USA.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh man, you got quite the accent for being in Kansas.
Yeah. Obviously, I was born and raised in south of France, so that explains it, right?
Yeah, that would definitely explain it. So how'd you wind up all the way over in Kansas City? Does that include part of your story, like finding out what the
Yes, it
three
is.
steps are? Okay.
It is, but it just modified me that, for me, it was very important to help people, right? And I used to
Mm-hmm.
rent boat in south of France and living on my boat, right? So I had like a totally different life plan, if I can say that. And, but, one day I had a calling and I saw myself helping people. So I sold my boat, my business, and came to the US to become a chiropractic physician.
Oh, okay. So, whenever you decided to sell all of that, how did that really did that shake you to your core? Because that sounds like that was a big identity shake.
Yeah, it shake me to the core in a very good way, right? Because you have to picture that they used to call me the gypsy. It's a gypsy area in south of France
Mm-hmm.
where I used to live. It's called Camargue.
Okay.
And basically, I don't know if you know the Gypsy King, but they are from there, right? The
Mm-hmm.
music, the Gypsy King.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so I used to party. They used to call me the Gypsy. I had long hair, the earrings, and almost, getting pretty tipsy or drunk every night, right? So I
Mm.
had a totally different lifestyle, and because for me, freedom was everything, right?
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
I thought like the adventure was like freedom, so that's what I was looking for in my life. So and freedom, of course, the boat is the symbolism of freedom too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Sure is.
Especially a sailing boat, right? And so that's what happened. And basically, when you've got a calling, I don't know how to describe that, but you know that it's almost like intuition in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
much stronger. And there's no way I couldn't try to do it. There was
Yeah.
no way, it just, it's kind of a force that is behind you, right? It's more than you. It's like when your mission in life has been given to you, that's a blessing.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So you were really called to do this traveling. You were called to do something more. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
so what really brought about that calling in the very first place?
Well, I just did. I remember my girlfriend at the time. She told me, we're doing like I'm doing. I read a book about past life regression and things
Hmm.
like that. Do you want to come with me? I'm going to Paris. I said, okay, why not, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I did it, and really nothing happened. But after we kind of we went in different way, and
Uh-huh.
I was kind of lost in a way. I said, okay, I'm going to do
Mm.
3 different past life regression, and those have been literally life changing. I literally
Wow.
so I don't know what to tell you if it's true or not, but what I'm telling you, what it did for me was
Uh-huh.
amazing, right? And
Yeah.
so and totally after this vision, I just decided to take action, and I sold my business first, and I sold my boat, and to make a long story short, I went to America to become a chiropractic physician, right?
Yeah.
Because what was fascinating to me, they were talking about the innate intelligence, your own ability to heal yourself,
Huh.
and that did the trick for me.
Okay. Huh. Innate intelligence. So something along the lines of your body knows what it needs and what it wants, but you just kind of got to listen. Is that it?
Your mind and your body, your mind and your
Oh,
body, yeah.
gotcha. Huh. So what are the 3 steps that that you had come across that helped you find your success so well?
Yeah, the main thing is like, if I may say a little bit,
Yeah.
what is the mind, right? Because,
Yeah.
we take that for granted. We think that, oh, we know what the mind is. And when I'm figuring out, Keegan, there's few people who actually understand. It's not that it's complicated. It's like it's a knowledge that are not being spread out,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, and so basically, it's kind of like we live in two different worlds,
Mm-hmm.
in two different separate worlds, if I can say that, at the
Yeah.
same time. So what do
Okay.
I mean by that? We've got the all what we know, the outside world, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's called the conscious mind, basically, and it's your self-identity, who you think you are, Keegan,
Mm-hmm.
what define you, right? And
Yeah.
but also, what you're aware of, right? How
Mm.
do you perceive your reality? So
Mm-hmm.
we perceive our reality from our thought. So we are aware of our thought, our
Uh-huh.
emotion, our behavior, and action. So it's
Okay.
also our personality. So this is the conscious mind, right? And
Yeah.
after Keegan, we've got a different world, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's the inner world, right? And we don't really know what the heck is going on down there, right?
Yeah.
and so what the it's called we're gonna call it the subconscious mind, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
subconscious mind record everything you have been doing in your life from age zero to now, right?
Mm.
Also, it's where your skills as a podcaster and whatever in life, uh, the skill that you need to do to know, I'm sorry, in order to perform in life,
Uh-huh.
right? They are stored in the subconscious mind.
Huh.
Everything in your body that happen automatically that you don't have to think about it, like your heartbeat, your breathing, your
Uh-huh.
digestion, are coming from your subconscious mind. So
Mm-hmm.
I got really intrigued by that because, we always think the mind is the conscious mind, but when I start, and you can Google what I'm telling you, right? When
Yeah.
I started to study that, I realized
Okay.
that actually only 5 or 10% of your mind is conscious.
Hmm.
Therefore, 90 to 95% of your mind is subconscious. So I
Hmm.
said, what the heck? That's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, for me, it was like mind blowing, if I can say that. Right?
Yeah.
And so I started to dig a little bit more, and what I realized about the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind can be programmed.
Mm. Okay.
So what do I mean by that? You,
Yeah.
Keegan, have been programmed. I have been programmed. Everybody listening now to this program has been programmed. So there's, first of all, we can be programmed, like a little bit disclaimer here, we can be
Mm-hmm.
programmed at any time in our life.
Hmm.
But the main and the core programming happen from age 0 to 7 years old.
Okay.
So what's happening during that time? Our brain wave are different. We're
Mm.
talking about theta wave, beta wave. So it's kind of we like sponges, right? Because what
Yeah.
we see in the outside world, we just bring it as an experience, and we assume.
Mm-hmm.
And the key word is assume. We assume that what we experience in the outside world is the truth. So
Mm.
when you assume one time, two times, and few times, it becomes a program.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And this program is literally dictating your life, but you have no idea.
Hmm. Huh. That actually makes a lot of sense. Because one of the things that I've kind of come across in my healing journey is that the things that really trip me up are expectations. And I guess another word for expectation is to assume, right? So
Correct.
whenever my expectations don't go as I expect them to, it throws me for a real weird loop, you know? And so I guess that would make sense with programming. If something doesn't go with the programming that I have, then it would make me feel like I'm all discombobulated, right?
Exactly. Let me give you an example because
Okay.
I think that's going to put things more in perspective, right? So
Gotcha.
let's pretend there's a little girl that she's got a dad, right? Dad and
Mm-hmm.
mom, regular things, but the
Uh-huh.
dad is an alcoholic.
Mm.
So every night he's drunk, he's coming home and beat up his wife.
Mm. Yeah.
So what do you think that little girl, when she grows up, is going to attract as a romantic relationship? What do you think?
Probably an abusive partner.
Exactly. Probably 80% to 90% of the people will agree with us. But let me go a little bit deeper into that, right?
Okay.
So now she's older. She's in that relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I ask her, by the way, do you enjoy to get beat up like your mom?
Mm.
So the conscious mind's going to say no.
Uh-huh.
But the subconscious mind has been programmed as men are predators and women are prey.
Mm.
So how does it work? Let me play the
Yeah.
role of a subconscious mind, right?
Okay.
So her subconscious mind say, because how she's going to pick up that guy, right? She's going to say, oh, you, can you come and beat me up, right?
Yeah.
That's not really how it works. So
Uh-uh.
that's why it's so insidious, right? It's so
Mm-hmm.
hidden.
Yeah.
And so that program, okay, so I'm her subconscious mind, right?
Uh-huh.
And the subconscious mind is going to say, hey, look at this guy. He has been bullied and now he's a bully. He's got the predator program. You're going to fall in love with him, right? Because he's the
Mm.
perfect match for your programming. And
Mm.
now I'm going to be the role, I'm going to be the role of a subconscious mind of a guy. So the
Okay.
guy say, oh, look at that girl, right? She's got the programming, right? For her, it's important to be bullied rather than abused. And we are a perfect match, so fall in love with her. And
Mm.
like we say, it takes two to tango or opposite attract.
Yeah.
And they're going to get involved together. They're going to fall in love. And so there's three different case scenarios that can happen, right? Case
Uh-huh.
scenario number one, she's going to marry the guy, right? And she can get stuck in an abusive relationship for the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm.
We all know, like the women get really beat up. She even called the cops and never press charges.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, why she's not doing that? Because of that programming
Yeah.
of a predator and prey. That's why.
Mm.
It's not conscious. It's not that she does that on purpose in a conscious mind, but she has been programmed that way.
Mm.
Case scenario number two, Keegan.
Okay.
So what can happen? It's like she's gonna get with that guy, and after get tired of get beat up, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
find another guy. So lots of suffering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's gonna have few kids along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after usually what they tell me, Dr. Salas, please don't tell me anything about men. I'm done with men. They are not good for me, right? It's kind of like, Keegan, there's a fire.
Uh-huh.
You put your finger in the fire, you say, oh, it burns. You put your finger again, you say, it burns. You say, oh, I'm done. Okay, I understand. The fire, oh, men hurt me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, but because, Keegan, as you know, we can heal from through our life experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what may happen to her if she heals from that? She's going to attract somebody that is totally different,
Yeah.
somebody that love her truly, somebody that support her,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that see her as her equal, somebody that respected her. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you know you have been healing from that, right? And case scenario number three, she can come to see me and we can totally change that programming very quickly. So I'll let you know which one you want to pick up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that is one of those things. A lot of people will find themselves in situations and they don't know why they're in there. And then people tell them, hey, you need to get out of it. And they're like, yeah, I do need to get out of it. But they can't get themselves out of it for some reason. And that would make sense that it's that subconscious programming. So how does someone start to, do you have to erase it before you can change it? Or do you change it on the go? How does it work?
Exactly, because, and you make a very good point, Keegan, because what's happening is like when we want to heal,
Mm-hmm.
transform ourselves and grow, what we're going to focus on, only on 5 or 10% of our mind, which are our subconscious mind. If you go to
Mm-hmm.
therapy, that's going to deal with your subconscious mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I thought, why not bringing the subconscious mind to the party? Like that, you can use 100% of your mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's kind of, since we're talking about program, let's make the analogy of the computer and the mind,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, the brain will be your hard drive, right? That's the physical aspect of it, right?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your software will be the subconscious mind. That's your programming, right? That's
Okay.
what run the show in your
Yeah.
computer, right?
Uh-huh.
And after the output of your software, right, is your conscious mind. And after your behavior is reflected on the screen of life. So, for example, if you got a program in your computer, Keegan, that doesn't
Uh-huh.
work for you, what are you going to do? You're going to delete it.
Yeah.
Number one, step number one of a mind clearing. You delete what you don't want. You delete the program, and after you're going to go to the Play Store and pick up a program that works better for you, right?
Uh-huh.
So you download what you want instead. You don't have to find out what are those negative programming, right?
Yeah.
And after number three, you want to make sure, remember the screen of life, you want to make sure you create that into your life. You want to make sure that it's manifested. Whatever you desire, you're going to express it in your life, because that's how we experience life. If you think, oh, I want to start a business, and it stay in your mind, you never take action, right? It's going to be a fantasy in your mind. You're
Yep.
never going to learn the lesson that comes with taking action, right?
Yeah.
And so and so that's why it's important to create. So
Mm.
number one, delete, download, and create.
Ooh. Okay. So is that the full three steps all
Yes,
together?
sir.
Oh. Okay. So delete, download, and create. So deleting sounds fairly straightforward, right? We're just in there to get it out, but how do you get it out? If it's something that's been programmed and we don't know that it's there, how do we find out that it's there in the first place?
Yeah, Keegan, I used to travel a lot when I was, with a boat rental business.
Mm-hmm.
During the winter, I would go to the South Hemisphere. And the most frustration that I had during my traveling is like meeting a cool guy like you, but I couldn't speak the same language. So we
Mm.
couldn't communicate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel in my field, that's what has been happening, Keegan, right?
Mm.
You need to speak the same language with the subconscious mind. That's that easy. So
Okay.
now the question come up, what is the language, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, well, the subconscious mind, work. It's like when you remember a dream, Keegan.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a picture or a movie that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I never had anybody telling me, oh, I remember only the smell of my dream or the sound of my dream. It doesn't make any sense, actually. And so that's how the subconscious mind works with picture.
Mm.
So basically, step number one, you will see yourself. For example, give me an example of something that somebody or you would like to get rid of.
Get rid of. So a lot of people like.
It can be an emotion, it can be a thought, it can be whatever you want.
Why don't we work on jealousy? A lot of people have
Okay,
issues with jealousy.
all right. So let's see. There's that X-Man. he's jealous, right? And he sees that he's going to lose his relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, right? So I will say, okay, X-Man, what you need to do is just to visualize yourself being really jealous. But you have to be in that picture. That's very important.
Okay.
You have to be in that picture, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, and feel that jealousy as much as you can, right? Okay, very jealous. Okay, and so what we'll do, we'll delete. I created a program, literally a program, that will delete that, but he's gonna delete it, right? Because it's his picture, right? So the picture comes from the subconscious mind, representing what he doesn't like, him being jealous. And after, he will send that program into what I call the past you, which means him in the picture. So I will guide him how to send, we'll customize that program, right? And we delete that.
Okay.
That's that simple, right? And after, so when we are done, I said, now I want you to visualize the opposite of that picture. And again, you have to be in that picture, right? So that's going to be the download. So I created a different program, a download. And he's going to send that program. So I'm going to help him to customize to him, right? To that picture. And he's going to send to himself in that picture. And that's the download. And after we do the same with create. So take an action, just visualize, the best case scenario, right? The ideal outcome for you, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll do the same thing, right? That's that simple, Keegan. Very simple.
Okay, so and you do this through versions of like talk therapy of sorts, is that correct?
No. Because talk therapy will be only your conscious mind. I just ask
True,
him,
yeah.
look what I told you, right? You visualize you being jealous, you visualize the other picture, and you want to get your ideal outcome. There's no talk therapy.
Yeah.
Talking, some people if they want to, but it's useless because it's going to be using only 5 or 10% of your mind power. So if you use 5 or 10% of your mind power to crack 90 to 95% of your mind power, I just say good luck.
No, that's fair. So it almost sounds like you're doing a form of hypnosis in a sense, right?
It's not. It's not hypnosis because they are in the. It's more like a kind of visualization process, but with a download. Because if you do only visualization, it's gonna take lots of luck and and lots of repetition. Here we don't do repetition, right?
Okay. Huh. So you're saying that someone can get rid of something in almost one session with you in that sense?
Well, what happened, for example, the jealousy things,
Mm-hmm.
when he looks at the picture, I will ask him, okay, give me a 1 to 10 how much you are jealous in that picture.
Mm-hmm.
You give me a 10 over 10, right?
Yeah.
At the end, actually, when we do delete, there's several steps, right? But when we do delete, in 5 or 10 minutes, it should be gone.
Hmm.
The jealousy should be gone.
Okay.
Now,
Um.
okay, go ahead.
Oh no. Go ahead. After you.
So now being said, he can come back, right? And so they're
Mm-hmm.
going to tell me, oh, you know what, Dr. Salas, this came back. So I say, okay, no problem. Those are called resistance for healing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to write down the circumstances in which you were jealous,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to reprogram that. That's that
Hmm.
simple. We're going to
Okay.
apply the mind clearing, right, to
Mm-hmm.
this.
Huh.
But literally, when you involve delete things, in 5, 10 minutes, they look at the picture, it's gone.
Uh
All
huh.
right.
Okay. Oh.
That's that quick.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying. It's kind of like dealing with a root cause issue, in a
Yes.
sense. So have you used this to help people get over addictions and stuff like that too?
I didn't have people with addiction. I've been losing successfully with weight loss, but
Cool.
I don't see and PTSD. But I don't see addiction. Okay, what is the problem with addiction in a nutshell, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in my view, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like when trauma is too big, you cannot handle it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just want to numb yourself, right? You
Yeah.
don't want to look yourself in the mirror, so you're gonna go into addiction. So it can be
Mm-hmm.
food addiction, whatever it is,
Yep.
alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, because it's just too much for you to handle, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of separating yourself, right? In a way, masking, all that things, because you don't want to feel, because it
Mm-hmm.
hurts too much. And that's what base of addiction are about.
Yeah.
And those are created by those program.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So hang on. Mm. So we can get over the program by repetition, but hang on. So you're also saying that we don't have to do repetition, right?
No.
Okay. Hmm.
It's like when you've got a program in your computer you don't like, you're going to
Yeah.
delete it, right?
Uh-huh.
There's no repetition. You click on the mouse one time.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair,
Uh-huh.
it can be re-trigger, right? And
Okay.
so
Yeah, yeah.
whatever it's re-trigger, I will say write down the circumstances. Let's see. I get a fight with my wife, and I got some alcohol if I'm an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna reprogram those circumstances, right? And
Mm.
after whatever it is, right?
Uh-huh.
And it works for pain, right?
Oh.
I use, I've got two programs. One is called the mind body clearing,
Uh-huh.
which is, we can treat pain the same way.
Huh.
In average, 80% of the people within 2 visits, the pain will be gone and doesn't come back. When it's chronic, which it's a long-term pain, because after it go into a program in your mind. So we need to get rid of that program, right?
Ooh, that's a really interesting thought about, and that would actually make sense with like addictions and stuff too. Is that
Sure.
after a certain point, pain becomes pain becomes a program, and if you're not feeling that pain, your body's going or your mind's going to make up that gap, right, and try to fill in
Yeah.
that gap.
It's basically we are more in the victim mode instead of being creator.
Mm.
Why me?
Yeah.
Why it's happening to me, right? And so, why are you drinking? Because I drink to forget, right? That's what we say in France. and basically, yes, those are really. I mean, addiction are so. I mean, everything actually, but addiction are still as a symptom of your mind negative programming.
Mm-hmm. And then, so, what is one of the ones that people go to you the most often with? What is a program that a lot of people are saying, help me with this, I've tried it to get rid of it, and it just won't go away?
It can be anything.
Anything?
It can be anything.
Huh.
For example, if there's pain, because I see people who are in pain, I created my own health system, if you want, right? Doing the physical stress, the chemical stress, and of course emotional and mental stress now, right? With creating my own technique. So of course I see people who are more in pain or chronic pain and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But you can be on chronic pain through me and being addicted for sure, addicted to your pain,
Mhm.
right? Because you after people call you and say, "How are you doing, Keegan? You know, is your neck better? You know, is like you see what I mean?" And after
Yeah.
you get the love because of your disease, right?
Mhm.
You see what I mean? And
Yep.
after it's you caught up on that circle, well, your subconscious mind is going to say, well, you know, if I get better, I'm not going to get the love.
Mhm.
So there's no way you can heal from that. And so
Yep.
that's called the victim mode. And we all have some victim issue, right? Okay.
Mhm.
But you want to be a creator because
Yeah.
we are conceived to be a creator, not to be
Mm.
a victim.
Okay. So let's explore that aspect a little bit. We're born to be creator, not victim. So, in this sense, we're not only deleting and we're creating new programs for ourselves, but in this way, we're also creating a better outside world because, like you were saying, our inner world becomes our outside world, right?
You got it.
Huh.
You just
Um.
got it.
So, whenever people are having issues with their outside world trying to be creator, how do you guide them through that? Does that make
Well,
sense?
yes, of course. Well, it's like, you know, I try to keep it very simple because
Mhm.
we can make this thing so complicated, Keegan, that it's not even funny, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, if I cannot explain what I'm doing to 11 years old, I
Mhm.
failed, right? It
Mhm.
means I don't truly understand what I'm doing, actually, even.
Mm.
And so basically, you just, what is it in life that you're tired of? Do you feel trapped? You know, do you feel blocked? Do you have like some emotions, really? Because what
Mhm.
I didn't tell you yet, you know, in order to keep your sanity, right,
Oh.
you need to have your thought,
Mhm.
your emotion, your behavior, and your action align.
Ooh.
See,
Okay.
that's the thing because what keep you inside, it's like when you are not in alignment. For
Mhm.
example, I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to start a diet today. So my thought is I'm going to start a diet, and
Mhm.
after my emotion is going to come and say, hey, wait a minute, you know, you start a diet. Last time you lose the weight, you're getting back in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
right? So I've got mixed feeling,
Mm.
mixed. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
mixed feeling about it,
Okay.
and so maybe I'm not going to even take action, right?
Yeah.
And so if I take action, it's not going to last. But if I can delete that aspect, you know,
Mhm.
or that emotion, right, and
Uh-huh.
bring it into alignment, now
Mm.
we're talking. Because when your thought, your emotion, your behavior, and your action are aligned, you're unstoppable, man.
Mm. Unstoppable. Ooh.
Yes.
And I think you really hit that last part like on the dot, having to be in alignment on everything because I know a lot of the times, like whenever I was trying to get out of addiction, my thought would be like, "All right, I'm done," and then, of course, that same thing would be like, I'll like in 2 weeks, I'll be able to maybe have another drink or something, like I can start to take control of it, and it never worked. Gee, I wonder why. But that's the thing is that if we can sit there and catch that emotion aspect, then it's easier to bring in the actual action that we need to do. So, okay, I see what you're saying, but how do you how do you tell people, do you have to do more programming to get all that alignment to happen?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes it is because I always do for example, if you come for a treatment, I will do
Mm-hmm.
your mom and your dad because
Mm.
we have been like so sharing the same energy, right? I mean, most
Mm-hmm.
of the people, right? Some
Yeah.
people were orphan and things like that, but for most people who have been sharing that energy, so everybody's trying his best. It's not about judging anybody. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we all come with a luggage, right? We all have been programmed, and it's not even your programming. It's programming mainly from other people, right?
Uh-huh.
But we all have, you know, and so and so I found out that treating the parents or some significant people in your life, and
Mm-hmm.
even though you love them, it doesn't matter. It's like, because the way it works, you know, it's kind of a funny thing. Like people have, they've got a misunderstanding with the mind and body connection, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so when you change your thought, it's gonna go physically, gonna change your DNA.
Mm.
So your DNA is going to configure differently. That's epigenetic, right? From
Mm.
Bruce Lipton that wrote
Uh-huh.
about that.
Uh-huh.
And so if you change your thought, your emotion, your environment, that's going to that's going to be implemented in your DNA, right? And so,
Hmm.
for example, in case of generational trauma,
Uh-huh.
right? What does it mean? What do I mean by that? Let's pretend like there's a grandma, had a kid, right? She had a
Mm.
daughter,
Yeah.
and the man didn't stick around, right? And after
Mm.
the daughter, she's got a daughter, and men
Mm.
don't skip. You see what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
passed on. So
Yeah.
it's passed on also through the genetic, although it's
Hmm.
not genetic like the way you understand it, right?
Uh.
It's a genetic because it has been imprinted in the DNA, right?
Oh.
And so it's because lots of people and all with MD, especially with cancer, they're gonna tell you, oh, this is genetic, all that.
Mm.
Actually, there's only maybe 5% of the disease that are purely genetic, right?
Oh
So what
wow.
I'm talking, it's like more like an energetical genetic, right?
Mm.
But it
Yeah.
still can change your DNA. Also, when you change your thought of emotion, physically, you're gonna have what we call neuroplasty. So it
Mm.
means the wiring of your brain is going to wire differently, right? Because
Mm.
you got a different thought and emotion, right?
Yeah.
The biggest mistake that people do, they think that your mind is in your brain. No, your brain is the hardware. It's like an
Mm.
interface. Your
Okay.
mind is at a different level of energetic level outside of your body.
Ooh. Okay.
It's like
See.
the cloud. Your mind will be the cloud. When you say, "Oh, I'm going to store this in the cloud," right? That's the
Yeah.
best analogy I think I can make. That's your mind,
Uh.
but your mind is not in your hardware of your computer.
Mm. Yeah, I think you actually just hit on something that a lot of people would wonder, like, why am I doing all this stuff to my body, but my mind isn't feeling like anything's changing? And that's kind of the trick, though, right? If you don't feel a change, if you don't think, if you don't feel that difference, then you're kind of going to psych yourself out of anything, right? So,
If you don't think that you can change, if you don't
mm,
feel that you can change,
mm,
if you cannot behave like things are changed, and
mm,
if you cannot take the action that I'm definitely changing, you're not
mm.
gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. So the very first step would be to delete those programs that are making you
Correct.
think that way. Hmm.
Let me give you an example. Let's pretend there's a triangle here, right?
Okay.
And so inside the triangle, there's what we call that negative programming, or they call
Mm-hmm.
that limiting belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the limiting belief is I'm a loser, right? My dad told me I'm a loser, blah, 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 right? So
Uh-huh.
inside the triangle, I'm a loser. On top of your triangle, it's your thought. So I'm going to
Mm.
think I'm a loser, right?
Mm.
On the right side base of your triangle is going to be your emotion. So I'm going to feel I'm a loser.
Mm-hmm.
On the left side base of your triangle, it's your behavior. So I'm going to behave like a loser.
Mm.
So my action is going to reflect that behavior. So I'm going to have loser result.
Mm.
If I've got loser result, I'm going to feel even more I'm a loser,
Yeah.
like a loser, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to think, man, I knew I was a loser, but such a loser.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to reinforce that loser program, right? I call
Yep.
that the subconscious stress loop. And
Mm.
we've got a ton of loop program running behind the scene in our subconscious mind.
Mm. Okay. Hmm. And that
So
one's
it's kind of in a way, I'm sorry if I may say that, but
no.
I think it's important. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of in a way our past are defining our present and
Mm-hmm.
molding and shaping our future.
Yeah.
So it's our past that messing us up.
Yeah, and that's why you needed to essentially deal with the influential people in your life whenever you're growing up early. Because those are the programs that are so deep in us that we don't know how they even got there in the first place.
Yeah, and especially around like age 0 to 7, we are
Uh huh.
not, too aware of what's going on, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that's good.
um, so we've got a little bit of a game to play if you want to try it real quick.
Sure.
Okay. And also, real quick, I did forget to ask, where can people find you at?
Oh, yeah. So you go to my website. It's called themindclearing.com, mindclearing.com. You
Okay.
go into contact. You're going to click on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a form that appears, or you've got my email, and you can email me because I will give you like, I don't remember, it's 20 or 30% off, right, of a treatment, because we can talk about that things, that is life changing, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
forever, but until you experience it. We say true knowledge is when you experience things, right? Like in
Mm-hmm.
addiction, we're going to take people who have been addicted before, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to help over, because they know you can have a PhD on addiction and you have never been addicted. Who cares, right? You're gonna be, as somebody who's an addict, you're gonna be able to relate better to somebody that has been there and done that, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the same thing, when you experience the work, you will understand how truly powerful it is, and how soon you can change your life and see results.
Yeah. Um, Real quick, before we dive into the game show aspect, I wanted to ask you one more thing about. You said that there was something about being unstoppable once you're in an alignment. What is your story about being unstoppable? Where was your biggest like overcoming of an obstacle?
Well, to make a long story short, as you know, when I came to America, I married that French woman, right? And I have like a daughter.
Uh huh.
And within a year, I got divorced.
Oh.
I got diagnosed with early stage of colon cancer. And my business went to thriving because I was seeing 250 patients a week. I had 4 employees. I was living the American dream. And it
Mm-hmm.
went down.
Mm.
And so, but I never be a victim, right? Because I
Mm-hmm.
knew, first of all, what really helped me, that I knew that through my healing, I will be able to help people better. So it
Yeah.
was not only about me, right?
Uh huh.
There was a bigger picture, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
really helped to get distance with emotion and all that, and um, and that's what started the mind clearing process, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck happened to me, right? Why, I'm getting everything, the way it happened is like this. I'm getting, very successful, and after I lose it all. So why is it, behind the scene? How did it affect my health, and all that? How can I control my emotion? How can I control my thought, And it's
Mm-hmm.
not controlling in a bad way. It's just to make sure that you've got a smooth ride, because you know what making the difference in life, talking about sanity, what
Mm-hmm.
making the difference in life, it's how people are happier than others. Life is like a wave, right? It's a vibration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's up and down, right? So we always have up and down. It's how you react to it that will
Mm-hmm.
make you a happier camper, right? So if you can keep your distance, if you can stay centered
Mm-hmm.
through challenges and adversity, that's the recipe, man.
Oh.
And in order to stay centered, you need to have your thought, your emotion, your behavior and action aligned. It
Okay.
doesn't mean that you cannot feel sadness and all that, but very quickly you can go back to your center by applying those techniques.
Okay. And so, do you also teach people how to do it on their own after a point?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I teach people, like whoever, like Keegan, if you want to. I'm sorry, my wife is called Reagan, so it's very close. So Keegan, if you want to learn it, you can, because
Uh
that's
huh.
not complicated, right? And
Uh huh.
so this, it's very important to me to empower people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the best healing and transformation and growth that you can ever. It's a gift that you,
Yeah.
you can ever give to somebody, right? Because we're
Yeah.
so much more powerful than we have been told. We have been told that, oh, you only 5 or 10% of your mind. You just need to please obey, conform, and shut up, basically, right? And
Yeah.
so, and don't be creative, right? Use only your analytical mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why so many artists, can be going into addiction too,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't relate to that world, right?
Yeah.
Because they use more their right brain, right? And so, when you tap into that subconscious mind and you bringing the best out of that subconscious mind, you can see the world totally differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you understand that you are more than that little me, right? You're much more than that, right? Because let's pretend, if you allowed me,
Yeah.
one thing that I think people will appreciate,
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
if you zoom out, Keegan,
Uh
right?
huh.
And so that's how I see it, right? So
Okay.
let's pretend the sun is God, is awareness, whatever you want to call it, but
Mm-hmm.
something bigger than you,
Uh
right?
huh. Yeah.
And more, higher energy than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after, so the spark of the sun creates your spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after you've got, and so all those are what we call non-duality. There's no good and bad. Some people who understand it's pure love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after you've got the sky, and after you've got Keegan and Alan, right? The physical Keegan and Alan, right? And so some people, they've got so many clouds in the sky that they say, there's no sun.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't exist, never felt it, right? So what are those clouds in the sky? They are the negative programming. They are your limiting belief. So when you start to get rid of those, right, you say, oh, you can have a glimpse at the sun. You can start to feel the warmth of the sun.
Yeah.
And trust me, talking about the addiction, it's addictive because it feels so good, right? But in a good way, right?
Yeah.
And after you say, oh man, this is good. I'm feeling better in my life. I can see I've got a better perspective on things. And so you start to get rid of more limiting belief, right? And at one point, you've got that realization. Some people call that the awakening. And you awaken to the idea that you are not only flesh and bone, right? You're not only 5 or 10% of your mind. You're truly a spirit living a physical experience.
Yeah.
And when you really, and that's a game changer, because you understand how truly powerful you are. And you start to feel it because you're not as reactive, you're not as much a fight and flight. You can stay centered better in your life, right? With addiction, it's a joke now. You don't even have to think about it, right?
Mm-hmm. So, it feels like, all in all, we're talking about how we're really trying to help heal the soul, heal the spirit, in a sense.
The soul, because if you look, the soul, it's duality, right? The spirit is not. So the soul, some people believe in reincarnation, but the soul that just come back again and again, but the spirit never change. Your spirits never change. And it's really a part of all there is and will ever be, right? And so, it's really healing the soul. That's why I call that the past you. It's kind of a soul retrieval in a way, because let's pretend like I'm in the military, right? And I'm in Iraq, and I pull the trigger and I kill my best friend by accident. Come back to the US, I'm a mess. I've been diagnosed with PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder, right? I was married, but I feel guilty, I feel shame, but I lose my wife, and become homeless like so many Vietnam veterans, right? I even go into addiction, right?
Yeah.
Of course, right? And so what happened, it's like, why I still have that problem? Because in the subconscious mind, I am still pulling that trigger. Right? And so what we want, that's why I call that the past you. So what we want to bring that memory back. Like that is deleted. We're done with it. Right?
Okay.
And after I can go on with my life, the guilt is gone, the sadness is gone, and the PTSD is gone, and I'm back to be myself again.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people could really find that to be useful, and if you could do it so quickly with PTSD, that would help so many people.
I know.
Whenever they're having an episode of whatever it is. So,
but not even an episode, but it's going towards the cause of a problem. Because when you've got a problem in life, Keegan, you need to know two things.
Yeah.
You need to know what's causing your problem, and you need to know how to fix it. If you know what's causing your problem, you need to know, and you know how to fix it, you're done. You moved on. There's no more problem.
Yeah. The tricky part is, for some people, we might know what the problem is, we might know how to fix it, but there's that third step in doing the action of actually doing it, right?
But it means you didn't go to the cause of a problem.
Ooh.
That's it.
Huh. So you didn't find out the cause if you're not doing
because
anything.
remember, because you didn't did the reprogramming either correctly or you even didn't do it at all.
No, actually, I had to think about that because I was like, I did my step 1 for the 12 steps a long time ago, but that makes sense. Like, I knew what the problem was, kind of. I knew the symptom, right? I knew my addiction was the symptom. I didn't know what the root causes were.
Yeah, because you knew intellectually, or you can assume, or you have been told by a therapist because of your dad, your mom, whatever. But still, the cause is still there. It's your programming. Yeah. If you cannot change that programming, you can know intellectually what it is. You see, that's the problem. That's why I'm talking the same language, right? If you know, this is because my dad, blah, 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 whatever, right? It's still intellectual. It's using 5 or 10% of your mind. Now, when you understand truly how the mind works and has been created a program, and until you get rid of that program, it's
Mm.
going to be very hard for you, to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So you help get to the root causes, you help delete those programs, you help to instill new programs,
Correct.
and therefore you help people create their new realities.
Yes,
So,
and there's a process for the creation, on the
uh huh,
creation process, right?
uh huh.
That I teach them how to go through to make sure that it's the creation has been done. What ideal outcome that you want, it's there, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So, do you, let's see, with the creation process, what's one of the biggest trip ups? Because I feel like it would be the old programs trying to come back, wouldn't it?
Well, if it comes back, you do mind clearing again on those
Yeah.
circumstances. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I
So
see
it's
what you
question
mean.
of time. It's question.
Oh.
All those trigger will be deleted, right?
Uh huh.
But also in order to make sure that you stay focused, because when you want
Mm.
to create, you can say, okay, all right, I'm gonna now what I'm gonna do, my actions. I'm gonna sit on the sofa. I'm gonna wait for the weight loss to happen or whatever, right?
Uh
And
huh.
so you want to stay focused, and
Mm.
that's really very important. So they will visualize a little bit, like for a second, right? I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
minute. Every day you do that, like that you stay focused, you visualize your outcome picture, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
that it's still in your mind, right? And you
Yeah.
visualize 2 or 3 times, whatever you want. And like that you remain focused.
Mm-hmm.
Your more than likely your thought, your emotion, and behavior and actions going to be still in alignment. And if you're not, you
Mm.
do mind clearing. That's that simple.
Okay, I get you. I get you. And that was
Good.
a really important part too. Was that focus aspect? As soon as you said that, I was like, oh,
Yes.
that's what it is. Because as soon as I lose focus of what I'm trying to do that day or what I'm trying to do with my actions, then my brain will literally just go reaching for anything and everything that it wants to go do. So, and that's what's going to drive me back into old programming, easy, because
That's
that's where my
correct.
brain goes like, oh, hey, I remember this road. They goes this way. So, oh, I get you. Oh, hmm. Well, thank you for all of this. And you call it the mind clearing process, right?
System, yes, sir.
System, mind clearing system. Gotcha. So, thank you for teaching me all about it. And real quick, before we get into the game, do you think that you'd want to be back on the show in the future to
Sure, of
go over
course.
more?
I mean, it was fun.
Sweet. I'm glad to hear it. Um, so, with that being said, if you're ready for the game show, we'll jump right into it, okay?
Let's do this.
Alrighty. All right, Alan. We've reached our game show segment, and today we're calling it Sail or Sink. Since you used to live on a boat, I figured we'd put your navigation skills to the test. But this time, it's not the waves, it's the mindset storms that entrepreneurs or people in recovery from traumas and addictions may face. I'll give you a scenario, and you tell us whether it makes us sail forward towards success or if it'll sink us into sabotage and why. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Number one, you get a scathing review from a client and immediately start doubting your own abilities.
Think.
Sink? Ooh. And so, what exactly makes that sink?
Because you don't, I mean, it's not like one opinion that's going to change my purpose. When your purpose is solid, by
Ooh.
the way, with mind clearing, we define your purpose, right?
Uh
Because your
huh.
purpose is not getting $1 million, right? Why? It's the why you do what you do, right?
Mm.
So it's not a money things actually. That's what people get. It's like it's kind of a fire, right? And after
Mm.
your action, it's the log you put to feed your fire, right?
Mm.
So what's your fire? What's burning inside your heart? What is
Mm.
your purpose, right? And so it's not
Mm.
some one person that's gonna, even few person that's gonna. I may just do some changes a little bit,
Mm.
but my confidence not gonna be no.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. I love that. All right. Number two, your business hits a slow season and you decide to double your hours to grind your way out of it. Is that success or was that sail or sink?
It sync because it doesn't mean you double the hours you're going to be more successful, right? So that's where you need to do like a better analysis. That's where you can use your intuition, which is the
Mm.
wisdom of your subconscious mind, and
Okay.
get connected to that intuition and see what kind of things can come up, right? and
Mm.
and make changes or or take different action, or maybe do a different business, or whatever it comes,
Hmm.
but working harder doesn't make it better.
Fair enough. I think a lot of people need to hear that so that they don't hit a burnout before they need to.
Correct.
Yep. All right, number 3. A friend offers feedback that stings, but you take a breath before reacting.
Uh, um, uh, what's the
Sale.
opposite of sell?
Yeah, I was going to say that one doesn't
Yes,
sound
sell.
like
You
sing.
you want it's the way you think. It's become is what we call being open-minded, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you're open-minded. Now it doesn't mean that it's gonna change my mind and all that, but open-minded means what if, right?
Mm.
And you can
Yeah.
explore that, right?
Mm.
And so, and if the universe is telling you something, well, you better listen and see whatever works for you,
Mm.
and
Okay.
make and change action if it's necessary or not.
Yeah. And thank you for giving like clarification of to what open mind is, because I've always kind of wondered, is an open mind just like hearing everything? But no, it's the question of what if. I love
Yeah.
that. Ooh. All right. Number 4. You hit burnout, but tell yourself I'll rest when I'm successful.
Or big time think. I want to talk to somebody who can explain this how this this will work.
Uh huh.
Now, if you go to burnout, you are not aligned, right? You're not
Mm.
centered, right? So there's no
Mm.
way you can make good decision, right? So
Mm.
you just need to stop reacting, right? Stop being on fight and flight, basically. That's what it is, right?
Mm.
And so it's like talking about the boat analogy. It's like burnout is be caught up on a storm, and you cannot control nothing, right? You lost
Mm.
your wheel. You cannot direct the boat and all
Uh huh.
that, and so you go with one way with the other with all that, and so trust me, I've been there. I know. Think.
Okay. Thank you for that. Number 5. A competitor launches something similar that you do, and instead of panicking, you focus on refining your own stuff.
Yes, I mean, sell for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, here's the way more and more. I used to be a competitor big time,
Mm-hmm.
right? I used to be a swimmer, right? I did competition swimmer, I play tennis. Now I'm into martial arts and all that.
Oh.
But I don't compete in martial arts, but I think competition. It's an ego thing, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
i- if you've got the intention like I do, I know what is my purpose is to help healing the world, right? Only
Mm-hmm.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if there's other people, that's great,
Yeah.
because they will respond better to his energy than mine or to her energy than mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of competition, let's cooperate.
Ooh, I love that. Instead of competition, let's cooperate. Mm. All right. Number 6. You keep setting goals, but you never hit pause to clear the old failures that still weigh on you.
Oh, think.
Zinc, big time
That's what the
zinc.
mind clearing is about, right? You need to move on.
Uh huh.
Because otherwise, if you don't clear those old, they're going to happen again.
Mm. Yeah.
They're going to come to your life again and again until that program is cleared, right?
Yeah. Yep. That is for sure. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of Sail or Sink, Alan, and I forgot to say thank you for playing, and we
That
have
was cool.
we have an honorary title for you, and we have dubbed you the Success Blockbuster for Retrieving Sanity. So you help people just refine themselves. You help people delete their old programs and recreate success within that creates success out. So, um, one of the things that we also like to ask here is, oh, I lost that question. There we go. Nope, I lost it again. Where did I? Where is it? There it is. Alan, the name of this podcast is Retrieving Sanity, and we explore how all facets of living life impact our mental health. Looking at the incredible motley adventures of your life, what does retrieving sanity personally mean to you today? And what's one practice or perspective that you believe is crucial for anyone on that journey?
Well, you need to stop being reacting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the less you react to the good and the bad, the good too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in America, oh yeah, you have to have fun, you have to have this. The higher you're gonna go, the lower you're gonna go. So if you look at everything in life vibrate, right? So it's a vibration. So the closer you are to that line that you cross, that positive and negative, that's your heart. That's the moment present. So the more you are in the moment, the more you are your action, your thought, your emotion, your behavior and action reflect what you have in your heart. You are more in the present when you do that, right? And so when you are more in the present, you're more towards that line. So you don't vibrate with very high and very low. And so when you truly understand, when you are a creator, you truly understand that the low points are there to teach you what to work on. It's not about things. Positive and negative doesn't mean good and bad. It means like light and darkness, and they all have a purpose. When there's a fruit that comes from the light, the fruit after goes down, goes into the darkness, and that's where the creation process happens. It gets all the mineral, become the seed can feed off of the fruit, and become another tree that goes to the light. That's the creation process. You have to have light and darkness, right? And we create more in the darkness. Doesn't mean that you have to feel bad to create. It means that you're going to notice that things, don't go as smoothly. So, okay, this is God, the universe telling you, you have to work on this, which is a gift.
Yeah.
And you can apply mind clearing in my case, of course. That's what I do.
That is awesome. And thank you for bringing that to light, quite literally, because whenever we're dealing with the darkness aspect, a lot of people think that it's nothing but doom and gloom, but it's not necessarily the case. Whenever we're dealing with something that we perceive as negative, that can be negative enough to say that that is a bad experience. That is something to take a look at and maybe find out what could be changed, right, to avoid that
Yeah.
in the future.
And most people who are being very successful, that's what they got from the darkness. They understood, like, if you have a failure, right? Okay, you're going to learn from that. Now, if you're in a victim mode, you will never learn from it because you're going to blame other people or different circumstances until you relax that. You realize that everything's coming from within and from this programming, right? And when you can change them, that's such a gift.
Yeah.
Because after you know what to work on, you know what you don't want, right? Because until it happens, you don't know. So you know what you don't want, and you can download what you want and create a new you.
Okay. And for some reason, you just made me think of Are you familiar with The Cave by Plato?
Yeah, Plato
Yeah.
Cave, exactly.
It makes me feel like the victim mentality is someone walking into the cave and then being there so long that they forget that there is light outside. You know?
Exactly.
Huh.
So you have to understand, for me, I'm a knowledge seeker, truth seeker, and freedom seeker, and they all work together.
Okay.
See what I mean? And
Yeah.
so the cave is a very good example, right? Because we have been told, okay, that's what you have to do in life, right? But you're so much more, or you are not powerful, right?
Yeah.
Or the human beings are flow, especially with that transhumanism. Now it's become even more, right? And so no, we're not flow. We just need to connect to, the remaining part of our mind, which is our subconscious mind. Like that, we can be connected more to our spirit, and that's the gift of being a human being.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. And that is something that we can definitely explore on our next episode, right? Exploring more of the darkness and what negative stuff is and how we can actually utilize it for the better.
Sure can do that.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Alain Salas, it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure having you on Retrieving Sanity. Is there any last words that you want to leave the audience with today?
Yeah. If you think you have been everywhere and try everything with no success, it's simply because they didn't find out what's causing your problem, right, and how to fix it, right? That's that simple. This is it, right?
Yep.
And so the mind clearing can be really something that if you want to explore, can you will know right away if it helps you. You don't need to have like 20 visits and all that. And one more thing I want to say, it's like you are so much powerful that you think you are. We have been told we are the little me, and no, we are the universal me, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Big time. And everyone out there, one more time, y'all can find him at themindclearing.com. And if you're looking at the screen, there's also a / contact -us and you can find out some more information there to get a hold of him yourself and find out what it is that you need to clear from your subconscious, really. But everyone out there, thank you for listening to Retrieving Sanity on WDJY 99.1 FM. This has been Keegan, and this has been Alan. And I just gotta say, love yourself, love others if you can, but you gotta love yourself first, and just try to be a good person. And until next week, we'll see you next time. Schlan. All right.